Greetings fellow men, servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. I'm continuing my journey in Japan. I'm already in Honshu and but at home time doesn't stand still just because I'm gone, of course. So tomorrow on Sunday there will be, of course, the state elections in the state of Hessen, Hesse, and I was actually asked by someone who watched my last video about the polls from Hessen to make a video or actually explain a little bit about the recent surge of the Green Party in the polls. But also the election outcomes from Bavaria showed major gains for the Green Party, and I should explain that. It's a justified question, I would say, especially for people from outside of Germany. They might not really understand why, just in a situation like this, Germans would choose to vote for on paper for an environmentalist party, but in reality, of course, they have very little to do with conserving the environment. They are a leftist party, of course, progressive, so everything that can be said about Hillary Clinton or other very leftist elements of the Democratic Party, for example, in the United States, or many other social democratic parties in other Western countries, is also true for the Green Party, with a little twist, of course, that they're a little more aggressive, a little more crazy, and a little more on the hardcore progressive side and less so on the classical worker party side. As a matter of fact, they are more or less a Western German phenomenon. They have not as many votes in the eastern part of Germany, surprise, surprise, but they have very little to do with the working class also in Western Germany. I have touched upon this topic many times, but as I was asked, I will repeat some of those things, some of my opinions and general truisms about the Green Party in Germany in this video, I think. So most of their voters do not work in the free market, of course. They are sons and daughters from Western German gentry households. I think this is how you correctly call this social class, the lower knighthood kind of. So teachers, lower to middle administrative staff, also higher administrative staff, public officers, people who do not work in the free market, in the business world, but they are working for the government. They are paid by my tax money, or they either work for tax money, which means they're employed by the public sector, or they actually would be unemployed right away or work for some NGO or anything like that. So this is the Green Party for you in a nutshell, or their voter base, their hardcore fundamental voter base, so to say. But something must have happened, right? So this is the classical picture. They came up in the they got strong really in the 80s. They were really crazy to begin with, and they showed up with sneakers and without suits at the parliament for their job, basically, after being elected into parliament first, and that was a little bit of a taboo that they broke in Germany. Right now, of course, they dress just like all the other politicians, and it was actually a Green Party government that supported the illegal invasion of Yugoslavia, actually, in the 90s. So the first actual war that Germany was involved in was, surprise, under a foreign minister of the Green Party, Joschka Fischer. So, but coming back to the things that really changed right now. So, as many of you know, also from my videos or from other sources maybe, right now we have a grand coalition in Germany, and this is not the first grand coalition. So people get more and more fed up, and it's a natural process. They get more and more fed up with the larger parties, the formerly larger parties. Well, they're still the larger parties, but their numbers are shrinking now. the Social Democrats and the Christian Conservatives. That means Angela Merkel's party and the Social Democrats, they're losing votes, of course. And I think that at the same time, we see a surge of the AfD and also increased votes for the Green Party. That means there is some reshuffling, some reorganization, some redistribution of votes taking place within the left and the right bloc. So it goes away from the center and to the fringes. And that would mean the Communist Party, Die Linke, and the very socialistic left party, the Green Party, will get more votes from the SPD, and the AfD basically, and this is a very rough estimation, but the AfD will get votes from the quote-unquote Liberal Party and the CDU of Angela Merkel. And this is a recent phenomenon, really. Well, not that recent, but it is accelerating now, it seems. It goes as far, as I said before, that the two larger parties are not even having a single majority anymore if we take the recent polls or the recent outcomes of the state elections. And there will not be any surprises, I think, for this year's election in Hesse. I can't imagine that the actual outcome tomorrow will be far off from the polls. That means the Christian Conservatives under current governor Volker Bouffier will get more or less 26%, around that number, in the ballpark, you know. And the SPD and the Green Party will get around 20%. The AfD will be the fourth largest party in the Landtag, the regional parliament of Hessen, with around 12%, and then there is below 10% you have the Liberal Party, FDP, and the Communist or Socialistic Party, Die Linke. So there are no huge surprises here, really, and I do not expect a different outcome, to be honest. And what will be interesting is who can actually form a stable coalition, of course. It seems like there will have to be three parties forming a coalition, otherwise you will not reach a majority, and that could be this Jamaica coalition that I discussed after the federal elections, where there will be the Christian Conservatives, that's the black part of the Jamaican flag, then there will be the Liberal Party, the yellow, and the Green Party, of course. I don't know if this will be likely. Of course, Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer, horrible name, the Merkel version 2.0 that she's trying to set up now, because she's planning her retirement, maybe, I guess. So she already scared the voters in the sense that if you vote for the AfD, you will make it very likely that we end up with a red-green coalition. That means Die Linke, so the Communist Party, then the Social Democrats, the two red ones, yeah, and then the Green Party. That would indeed, I agree, that would be a horrible coalition for the country, especially because, as I said before in the previous video, the state government is pretty much responsible primarily for the police force, so for security, and also education, the education system. And the plans of this lefty coalition for educating our children is actually a disaster. So they want everyone in the same school, no matter how strong you are intellectually, no matter what your talents or your gifts are, you get the same kind of instruction, the same courses. It's a horrible system. We have data that shows that it is an absolute catastrophe for our youth. And I agree in that far, that I do not want, of course, this lefty coalition. However, what purpose does it have, or what difference does it make if we keep on voting for these centrist conservatives, knowing very well that they will just let in more migrants and do a watered down version of what the communists would do. That is not really where I want to go in this country, or I should say that country, because I'm in Japan at the moment. But yeah, so if I were in Hessen, I would vote for the AfD, obviously, of course. And yeah, this is the Green Party in a nutshell. And I can just add that you see, when you look into states where the young generation now, or where people could inherit a lot of money already, because in Western Germany they have the nice situation that many of those families could accumulate wealth and inherit that to their children, so that they actually inherit houses. They never have to seriously work in their whole life. In Eastern Germany, that is not really the case. And me, myself, I'm from the working class from Western Germany, so for me it's actually like from the East, in that sense that I will inherit exactly zero from my parents. So working class people, right? You don't have an inheritance, period. And that means that I have to work myself. Yeah, my labor is my income, basically, and this is why I can never vote for the Green Party, because the Green Party is the party of the rich heirs of Western Germany, and their largest problem in life is actually that they're afraid of climate change, and they don't want nuclear power, they don't want coal power. Money comes from the ATM, electricity comes out of the socket in the wall. They all have computers, they all drive cars, they all fly a lot to foreign countries, just like I do. But I do not think this is the biggest problem on the planet. I think you know very well what I think one of the large problems of Western countries or European countries is at the moment. And I'm the one who is paying all the taxes for this shit show that we have here, pardon my French. And I don't think it will be sustainable for much longer. So sustainability is actually a big concern of mine too, but it is a different kind of sustainability, if you wish. And this is what I have to say about those people. And for all the people outside of Europe, maybe in America, where you have a presidential system where you think that just because Germans, or some Germans, are fed up with migration policy of Angela Merkel now, that the AfD should get upwards of 50%, you are mistaken. I think 12% for the AfD is already a big success. They will be in all 16 state parliaments right now, so they are of course in the opposition, but they are present in all the 16 states, the federal states of Germany now, and that in and of itself is a big success. And they go from 0 to 12% tomorrow, I think, and that is a success, believe it or not, because they can control the government, they have the right to speak, they can make inquiries, and they can better inform the public and watch what the politicians are doing in the state parliaments and governments. And I think that is very important. Now, to end this video, I show you something that I got here. It is soy milk. And I have a good excuse. I didn't buy it actually, but I won it in a lottery at the convenience store this morning, so I could take part in some kind of a lottery, and they gave me this soy milk container here. So it has 7.7 grams of protein, soy protein of course, and 117 kilocalories for 200 milliliters. Not bad, huh? So they even have a soy milk website where you can read about soy milk recipes and campaigns. And I have to warn you guys, if you are an ordinary mortal man, you should be very, very careful with this stuff. It turns you into a woman because it contains xenoestrogen. It turns the frogs female, probably also. But I am not afraid of that, because I am, of course, an Übermensch. I'm from Germany, as you all know, so I have so much testosterone. I can easily drink one of those per week, maybe not more, but per week that's okay. And I want to demonstrate to you guys that I'm still very vital. Super male vitality is what I have, and so I'm going up these steep stairs here that I just found, and it's very steep stairs. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of stamina to make it up there, and as you can see, it is very dangerous, and I probably shouldn't be here. I might get cursed or something, but yeah, I do it anyway. So if you made it until here, you are very brave, and you have a very high threshold for boring stories and crazy rants. Yeah, so I'm going up these stairs here into the forest, and let's see what we have here. Huh, that looks cool. Very nice. What you can find here in Japan when you take up the stairs into the forest. Okay, so with these images I want to say goodbye for today, and don't be surprised if the polls are correct, and yeah, we will get exactly that outcome in the elections in Hessen tomorrow. I will maybe cover the results again if there should be a surprise, but I don't think so. So I hope I could clear up some things for you guys who are not from Germany, who cannot understand why Germans vote for the Green Party. But as I have said many times before, these people, and I work with many of these people, they really don't have other concerns. They really think that more welfare state and more legislation to protect the environment or to regulate the business world is what we need. Just look at your Clintons, your Obamas, and your other leftists like Corbyn, and then tell me again that we are so crazy in Germany. So, as always, Servus, Kameraden.